crafting bunnies, it's Mio, and today I have a sock plushie tutorial for you today. As you can see, I'm going to show you how to make Pusheen eating this cute little donut. I personally keep my Pusheen in the kitchen because he's eating a little donut, and of course you eat in the kitchen, so that's where he belongs. This is a really easy tutorial and it's great for beginners. For more videos like these, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and do check out my other social media websites such as Instagram and Twitter for more details. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So you're going to need, of course, a gray sock. I bought these gray socks at Target. I like this one in particular because it's really soft and plushy, which is what I expect a Pusheen cat to be just like. So you're going to go ahead and flatten out your sock like so, with the heel of the bottom facing forward, and the little heel part is going to be the bottom of your little Pusheen cat. I'm just going to fold it over so I can get a reference point of where his bottom ends, and with a pen or marker you're going to draw out Pusheen's cute little ears. Once you're happy with the pattern, you're actually going to go over this with a sewing needle and some string. This is just a nice outline so I know exactly where I'm going to sew. Because this sock is so plushy, I really can't see where I'm sewing, so I really just have to follow my guidelines and kind of remember where I last ended. But I'm not doing anything fancy, I'm just sewing up and down along my guided line right here, and I'll go ahead and knot it at the very end when I reach the other side. Once you completed the sewing project, you're going to go ahead and remove the extra string and cut off the extra sock. I don't want to get too close to the sewing line because you don't want it to unravel. I let it have a pretty good ½ centimeter width away from where I sewed, so that way it won't be likely to get caught and unravel at any point. Keep the extra material you have because you might use it later, and go ahead and flip the sock inside out like so. Just make sure you're extra careful to pop up the cute little ears on top. I used regular, plain old animal stuffing to stuff my Pusheen. I took a huge wad that can fit in both of my hands and formed a tight little ball and just stuffed the whole thing inside the sock. If you don't have animal stuffing, you can just use regular pillow stuffing in a pillow that you no longer care for. And when you stick it in like this way, it will form one nice round lump to form your cute little Pusheen like so. I can't really quantify how much I actually put into my two hands, but I would say you want to make it roughly around the size that I have in this video. If it's too much, it won't actually look like a Pusheen, it'll just look like a ball, and too little, it'll look like your Pusheen's on a diet. So go ahead and just cut off the extra sock piece, and you're just going to sew the ends together. I just went up and down along the perimeter of the sock and pull it like a drawstring bag, and you pretty much just close the bottom of your Pusheen little plushie. Just make sure you tie a really tight knot on the very bottom so it doesn't become undone. And the body of your Pusheen cat is pretty much all done. You just have to work on the limbs now. So Pusheen has a few marks on his body that are kind of his signature look. So I'm taking this dark gray felt and I'm going to form the markings on his back and above his head. I'm just folding it in half and cutting out this long oval, and this is going to be one of the stripes on his back. You want two of them, one a little bit larger than the other, and a few stripes, about 3 of them, to form the stripes on the top of his head. This is what the little long ovals look like on the back, and what I like to do is I like to hot glue them, but if you want to sew them on, you can. I just think hot gluing is just really easy. Once you're all done hot gluing the pieces, I'm going to move on to make the donut. I use needle felt to create the donut, so to needle felt anything, you're going to need a foam board or a sponge, and of course a felting needle. This is a very special needle that has multiple kicks along the side of the needle, so don't use a regular sewing needle. And of course you're going to need some plain wool. I have this flesh colored wool, and you're also going to need some pink wool for the frosting part. So I'm just going to pull the wool apart and fold it into a small little circle and just needle felt away. For those of you guys who don't know anything about needle felting, it's super easy and super fun to do. All you need is just the supplies, and when you poke your needle through the wool itself has a lot of small microscopic kinks that kind of cross-link together and will hold its shape just by you putting the needle through the wool. And as you notice, when you poke the needle several times, your wool becomes tighter and smaller and is able to hold its shape even better than before. So all you have to do is poke your needle to where you want the wool to stick and hold. So once you're happy with how your donut looks, you're going to go ahead and add frosting to it. I used some baby pink felting wool, placed it on the very top, and went ahead and needle felt away. As you can see, it doesn't really take rocket science to needle felt, and it's very easy, it just takes some time. So this is what my donut looks like. Once you are happy with your donut, you can go ahead and position it on your little Pusheen character like so, and you can sew it on or you can hot glue it on. Of course, you know I'm a hot glue fan, so I went ahead and just put some hot glue on the very bottom and glued it to my Pusheen plush. To form the arms and leg of my Pusheen cat, I took the extra scrap materials that I had and cut out tiny little circles, and with a sewing needle I just sewed along the perimeter of the little circle, pulled it like a drawstring, and formed tiny little hands and feet, because as you can tell from the pictures of Pusheen, it actually has very small hands and feet with a really large body. So just to keep all the proportions in measure, I just made sure the hands and feet were extra tiny. I didn't even put any stuffing inside it because I didn't want it to be too large. So this is one of the arms that I created, and I went ahead and hot glued him right around the donut that I have in the very center of my cat. And for the rest of the face, I actually used a few different materials. For the eyes, I used some plastic animal eyes I bought at Hobby Lobby. They're the 1 centimeter size, and you can see that the backing has this little piece of plastic on the back. I just kind of poked it right through where I wanted it and hot glued it. And for the face, I took some black felt and cut a tiny little mouth for my little Pusheen. I just gave it the standard little smile, but Pusheen has a lot of different faces, so if you want to give it an open smile or a frown or any type of other face, you absolutely can. And finally, every kitten of course needs whiskers, otherwise it's not really a kitty cat, so go ahead and cut some black felt and glue on some whiskers around its cheeks, and your Pusheen's face is pretty much done here. Pusheen also has a really nice tail that has some stripes on it, 3 stripes to be exact. So I took some scrapped material that I had, cut it into a long rectangle, and sewed the edges all up to form a nice little tube. When you're done with that, flip it inside out, put a little bit of stuffing down the center, and for the stripes, I actually used the exact same gray felt wool that I used for the stripes along its back to form the stripes along the tail. So I just cut some long stripes, hot glued them all around the tail, and of course my Pusheen has 3 stripes just like the one in the cartoon. Once you completed the tail, go ahead and position it on Pusheen's bottom. I hot glued mine, but of course you can sew it just like I've said pretty much for all the rest of the body parts, but hot gluing is just really easy, okay? So once you're done with the tail, don't forget to add on the cute tiny little feet, and you're pretty much done with your Pusheen body. All you have to do is add the few accents on the donut. So to create the donut sprinkles, I actually used polymer clay. I just took some pieces of clay in different pastel colors and I rolled them into long thin snakes and went ahead and baked them in my oven for about 20 minutes at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And this is what came out. As you can see, they're nice and stiff and they're all ready to be cut like real sprinkles. And I actually made mine into the size of real sprinkles because I thought it would look really cute that way. I just used an X-Acto knife, or you can use a blade, or if you don't even have that, you can just break them off. And I just cut them in tiny little pieces so it looks just like real sprinkles. Once you have an assortment, you can go ahead and position them all over the donut and hot glue them or glue them on to where you think it looks really cute. Just make sure all the colors are nicely spaced apart and all the sprinkles are spaced apart, but you don't have to be perfect. And that's pretty much how I made my really adorable Pusheen cat plushie eating this really cute sprinkled donut. I think this was a pretty easy tutorial. There's quite a few steps, but it's actually not really that hard to create, and I think the results are super cute. I'm really proud of this really cute plushie. I think it's been one of the cutest plushies I created so far, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. So again, for more videos like these, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you haven't already, and do check out my social media websites such as Instagram and Twitter to get more frequent updates of tutorials that are to come. If you enjoy this tutorial and end up creating this cute little Pusheen cat or any of my other craft videos, please share them with me. I really do enjoy flipping through my account and watching all of the pictures that you guys share with me of the things you create at home. Good luck everyone and happy crafting!